For centuries, being a good man was enough. Integrity, loyalty, and provision were the cornerstones of male value. Communities respected men who lived by moral codes, who kept their promises, and who sacrificed for others. In that older world, morality itself was a form of currency. A man's worth was measured by his reliability. If you provided for your family, stood by your community, and lived honestly, you earned not only respect, but also stability. Marriage was less about competition and more about fulfilling clearly defined roles. A man who was good was also considered worthy, but the cultural script has shifted. The modern landscape no longer rewards men simply for being good. The qualities once celebrated as sufficient honesty, loyalty, dependability, now feel invisible against a backdrop dominated by status, wealth, charisma, and influence. This is the collapse of the old standard. The equation has changed. Goodness alone no longer carries the same social weight, especially in the realm of relationships. Men are increasingly realizing that morality, while still necessary, is not enough to secure admiration, love, or commitment. From early childhood, boys are taught a story. Be nice, be respectful, do the right thing, and love will find you. Popular culture, religion, and family traditions reinforce this myth. It creates the illusion that moral virtue guarantees romantic success, but reality does not match the story. Many men discover this too late, after years of doing what they thought was right. They find themselves overlooked, rejected, or placed in the dreaded category of just a friend. Why does this happen? Because goodness, while admirable, does not necessarily generate attraction. Attraction is not a moral equation. It is psychological and biological. Women may consciously say they want a good man, but subconsciously, attraction operates on a different set of rules. The myth persists because it is comforting. It gives men a roadmap that feels simple, but simplicity often hides a trap. The result is disillusionment. Men expect reciprocity for their goodness, only to discover that the market of modern dating does not function that way. To understand why being good is no longer enough, we must examine what drives attraction. Modern women live in an environment radically different from their ancestors. Economic independence, access to global networks, and exposure to thousands of potential partners through social media have reshaped their psychology. Hypergamy, the tendency to seek a partner of equal or higher status, is not new, but in today's world, it is amplified. Women are inundated with examples of men at the top, the wealthy, the charismatic, the socially powerful. These images create new baselines for what is desirable. A man may be honest, kind, and loyal, but if he lacks ambition, confidence, or presence, he risks invisibility. Women's expectations are no longer centered on morality alone. Instead, they are drawn to combinations of power and character, status and integrity. The uncomfortable truth is that attraction often prioritizes traits like dominance, competence, and influence over moral virtue. Kindness without strength is often mistaken for weakness. And while women may appreciate goodness, it does not guarantee desire. Modern dating is shaped by contradictions. Women often declare that they want kindness and loyalty, yet their choices reflect attraction to qualities such as power, dominance, and social proof. This creates a double bind for men. If a man emphasizes his moral character, he risks being overlooked. If he prioritizes status or confidence, he risks being labeled arrogant or superficial. Navigating these double standards is psychologically exhausting. Social media accelerates this problem. Platforms display endless highlight reels of high-value men. The average man now competes not only with his local peers, but with global images of success. Standards rise, while the pool of acceptable partners narrows. What once was enough, providing stability, being loyal, living with integrity, now feels outdated. The competition has shifted from moral character to social capital. This reality produces resentment among men who feel betrayed by a system that no longer honors the virtues they were raised to embody. When faced with rejection, many men respond by doubling down on being good. They believe that if they are just nicer, more patient, or more giving, eventually they will be chosen. But this often backfires. Excessive goodness, without boundaries, is interpreted not as strength, but as desperation. This creates what I call the trap of moral overinvestment. Men invest their identity in being seen as virtuous, but the recognition they crave never arrives. The more they give without receiving, the more invisible they become. The psychological toll is immense. Men feel confused, resentful, and even ashamed. They ask themselves, "What's wrong with me? I did everything right." The answer is not that something is wrong with them morally, but that the rules of the game have shifted. This disillusionment can lead to bitterness, withdrawal, or even hostility toward women. But the deeper lesson is not to abandon morality, but to understand that morality alone is insufficient currency in the modern dating economy. If being a good man is no longer enough, what then must men become? The answer is not to discard goodness, but to combine it with other dimensions of value. A modern man must cultivate competence, presence, and confidence. He must be capable of asserting boundaries, pursuing goals, and demonstrating resilience. These qualities, when combined with integrity, create a balance of strength and morality that commands respect and generates attraction. The key is integration. Goodness without strength is overlooked. Strength without goodness is feared. But the man who embodies both becomes magnetic. This is the challenge of our era, to evolve beyond the old script without abandoning its core virtues. To stop expecting rewards for goodness alone, and to start building holistic value that resonates in both the psychological and biological realities of attraction. In the end, the goal is not to be merely a good man, but to be a complete man. Good, strong, competent, and respected. That is the man who thrives in the modern world.